So CNN is sorry for Amber Heard? Really? My name is Nate the Lawyer. If you are new here, we talk about the law and the facts. If you're about that life, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, guys, we've been watching the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and all good things must come to an end. So, as you know, Johnny Depp essentially won the case. He won all of his claims for defamation, while Amber won only one of her claims. Now, at the end of the day, Amber owes Johnny Depp about $8.35 million in damages. So that's essentially what happened. The jury came back and said they didn't believe that Johnny Depp had assaulted her in the way she said. They also said they didn't believe Amber's claims of abuse. Now, I think it was clear to anyone with a brain that Amber Heard was lying through her teeth. We all saw she was lying, right? That was it. But it seems that CNN doesn't want to stick with the facts of the case, but wants to start spinning it. And they want to start spinning it and saying, man should not be believed, woman should be believed, and if you don't believe the woman, then it's going to set women's rights back 100 years. Forget about the fact that she was lying. Forget about the fact that we all know, everyone on the planet knows this woman was lying about her claims. Listen to what CNN says about why we should believe Amber, or why Amber should have won. Check it out.
Well, what's your reaction to this verdict?
I think the jury got it wrong, Jake. I'm very disappointed in the jury verdict. I think this is another big win for powerful men, and it's a colossal loss for women. When you think about the allegations that were made in the UK case that involved defamation against a tabloid, the judge in that case found the allegations of Amber Heard to be credible, found that Johnny Depp did abuse Amber Heard. This jury, on the other hand, basically rejected the mountain of evidence that showed that Amber Heard, in fact, had been abused by Johnny Depp. The jury didn't have to find that each and...
Now, I just want to be very clear. This woman, I'm going to say it, is an idiot. She didn't watch the trial. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And she thinks that she could just come on and say it. But it's CNN, so CNN's going to allow her to come on and spout nonsense, right? Obviously, she didn't watch the trial. She keeps saying there's a mountain of evidence that shows that Amber was assaulted in some way. The fact of the matter is, there wasn't a mountain of evidence. There's never a mountain of evidence. See, initially, we believed Amber. We believed her as a woman. And then we had a trial. And during that trial, Amber brought out all the evidence that she could legally present, right? Here's all the evidence to show that I was abused. And I saw that evidence. So did millions of other people. And we all came to the same conclusion, that she's a liar. And that only a reasonable person looking at the evidence that she presented, obviously she's a liar. She lied about donating to the ACLU. She lied about donating to the Children's Hospital. She lied about having bruises. She lied when they said that she had her nose broken and the nurse, her own nurse, wrote there was no injuries, right? 3 cops went to the house, examined her, said she doesn't have any physical injuries, right? Even though she says she does. She said, I had my nose broken again. Dr. Kipper's notes, she didn't have her nose broken. She was fine. So the problem is that Amber Heard continuously lied about small things, medium-sized things, and big things, and things that we could verify were lies. So this woman, who I don't know why they have her on TV, why they pretend that she knows what she's talking about, but I'm going to say it here. Miss Martin, you are a stupid fool, and you need to be off TV because you don't know what you're talking about. And given this type of take, you're the one hurting victims. You're the one hurting women, because this is not about a victim who wasn't believed. This is about a liar who was exposed.
And every allegation was true. They could have found even one of them to be true. So you have to believe, this jury believed that Amber Heard made up out of whole cloth each and every one of these allegations with details, with facts, to create this, what they're calling a hoax. And I just find that pretty incredible. So I'm really shocked and surprised by the jury verdict.
Renato, what do you think?
She's shocked and surprised because she didn't watch the trial. She is shocked and surprised because she didn't watch the trial, right? She just believed Amber. This idiot just believed Amber. I believe Amber, and the jury didn't, so the whole thing's corrupt. No. Watch the trial and then make some type of analysis. Don't just come to these wild conclusions without watching the trial. I'm assuming this idiot didn't watch the trial and is giving you their expert legal opinion. Come on, get the hell out of here.
You know, I have to say my biggest concern, Jake, is about the impact that this is going to have more broadly. Usually in a defamation case, both sides lose because their dirty laundry gets aired out because they incur legal fees. Obviously, Johnny Depp can afford to spend a lot of money and have a case across the country and wasn't afraid to take this to trial. But I am concerned about defamation suits like this used in a lot of circumstances when women allege abuse. It's generally not the right strategy, and my concern is about the impact it's going to have on our society.
Well, hold on. This is what defamation laws are about. If someone accuses me of assaulting them, accuses me of domestic violence, and those claims are not true, and I'm going to sue you for defamation if you make those false claims because you have no protection for defamation. That's what happened here. You're making false claims. So I'm going to sue you. And yes, if a woman is out there making false claims about me, she may find herself in the middle of a defamation suit. That's the way it's always been. And you see people like this, they wanted Johnny to lose because if he lost, then that would make it easier for some other victim or alleged victim to come forward and say, I was abused. But the problem is that it also would allow somebody who wasn't a victim, who was making it up, to also come forward and says, hey, I'm abused too, because there's no repercussions if I'm lying. Abusers, which Amber Heard was, that's who they're trying to protect. These people at CNN are trying to protect an abuser because they don't care about the truth. They don't care about the facts. What they do care is about the politics. And as you see now, it's all about protecting who everyone knows is the abuser in their relationship. My God, she cut his finger off. And they want you to believe her. Crazy, right?
This case was largely centered around a 2018 op-ed Amber Heard wrote at thewashingtonpost.com. The jury asked about that and how it pertained to a claim in Depp's suit. They wanted to know if they should focus on the headline or the entire piece, and the judge said just the headline. How might that question factor into this, Ariva?
I think it may have factored into it, and it may have caused this jury to ignore the other allegations of physical abuse that Amber Heard testified to. And what we know, Jake, statistically is that,
just to be clear, that Amber Heard testified to, she believes Amber Heard. Wow. And it's crazy.
less than 10% of women lie about being sexually abused.
But they're saying less than 10% of women lie about being sexually abused. So we should believe those, but what they're saying, we should believe them anyway, right? Those 10%, even if the evidence is against what they're saying.
Also know that 1 in 3 women will experience some kind of domestic violence in their lifetime. So when you think about those statistics and you think about the testimony that Amber Heard gave, again, the fact that not one of those allegations was believed by this jury is troubling to me. And like Renato said, I am concerned about the larger impact.
It's troubling to her because she doesn't care about the facts. She doesn't care about the evidence. Listen to what this woman is saying. It's troubling to her because Johnny Depp was able to prove with facts and evidence that Amber Heard was lying to the jury, to the courtroom, to the public. And this woman is saying, we should have believed her anyway. This is CNN.
Impact. This is the most high-profile trial that we've had in the Me Too era. We had cameras inside that courtroom. It became somewhat of a spectacle with the
transparency now, right? Transparency of letting everybody see what goes on in the courtroom. Transparency of letting people see the testimony and evidence, right? Because we saw it and we came to the conclusion she's a liar. Now they're attacking it. They shouldn't allow us to see that anymore. This is how crazy CNN has gotten. They're jumping off the pier here. Close the trial down. We shouldn't be able to watch it anymore because it's going to expose liars. And since it exposed Amber Heard's lies, we don't want it to expose any more other women's lies. And the 10% of women who do lie about this stuff, we want you to believe them too. This is sick stuff, bro. This is really sick.
The social media really vilifying of Amber Heard. And I believe it sets women back and will have a chilling effect on women feeling as if they can come forward and bring a claim against or even make allegations of physical violence and sexual abuse against powerful men. Because I remember that era when women did so, they weren't believed, they were maligned, many lost their jobs and their careers. And I worry that.
You can worry, but the fact of the matter is, I got to say this, I think you're an idiot because Amber Heard was believed. When she initially made these allegations, she was obviously believed. She was believed above all else. Remember? Johnny Depp was fired. He was canceled. She was believed. She was believed. And then she wrote an op-ed. And that op-ed allowed Johnny Depp to sue her for defamation. And when that lawsuit happened, he was able to say, here's all the evidence to show that she's a liar. And then she put on this evidence and said, here's the evidence that shows I'm not a liar. And then they went and testified. She told her story. He told her his story. And like we do here in the United States of America, you're innocent until proven guilty. We looked at all the evidence and we said, she's a liar, right? There were women on that jury who heard her speak, who heard her evidence. Women on the jury who said, yeah, she's a liar. She's obviously lying. So this commentator, who I believe is ignorant to the fact, I think she is the one who's hurting other women because no other victim of domestic abuse should be afraid to come forward. You know who should be afraid to come forward? Women who lie, men who lie. Those are the people who should be afraid to come forward. But if you're telling the truth, have no fear because the evidence will support you.
This could be the outcome of this trial.
And Renato, in last week's closing arguments, Amber Heard's attorney, Ben Rottenborn, told jurors that if Depp failed to prove that he never abused Heard, then she wins the case. He said, quote, a ruling against Amber here sends the message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you always have to do more. Do you think that's what played out here?
Well, I will say the burden that Depp had was pretty substantial here.
Yeah,
he
it
had
was
to
a high
prove
burden.
by clear and convincing evidence that Heard had actual malice. In other words, that she essentially recklessly disregarded the truth here. Not that she was mistaken or that she maybe exaggerated a little bit, but that she was
Malicious
substantially
with it.
trying to lie and defame him, and he did
they
so.
found she did.
And obviously, his team, his team proved that. I know there's different opinions about why that is and whether or not, for example, gender bias factored into that. What I will say is, usually in a defamation,
They forget that there are women on the jury, right? There are women on the jury. Gender bias, though. So the women are gender biased against women.
case, it is very difficult to meet that standard when the person is a public figure.
So Johnny Depp has just released a statement reacting to that verdict that we just watched that found both he and Amber Heard were liable for defamation.
Now, I like how they put it. They put he and, which is factually true, but ain't nobody saying Amber Heard won anything. She lost this. No matter what spin they try to put on it.
He writes in part, quote, 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the many people who have for many, many years supported and believed in me were all forever changed in the blink of an eye.
False, very serious and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career, and 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled.
Chloe, you're just getting in a new statement?
Yes, so I have a statement from Amber Heard's team. It just came in a moment ago. I'll read you just a part of it because it's really long. It says, the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the
mountain of evidence went the other way. There was a mountain of evidence to show that Amber Heard was lying.
disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. She goes on to say, I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It's a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. And she...
Now, I want to be very clear. Depp, when she made the allegations, what happened to Johnny Depp? He was publicly shamed. humiliated, and fired from all his jobs. Right? That's what happened when she made the claim. Then she wrote an op-ed, and he said, no, you know what? Enough's enough. Defamation. She went to a jury, presented all his evidence in court. She presented all her counter evidence. Jury came back and said, she's a liar. Not only she's a liar, she maliciously lied. That sets women back? How's that setting women back? She lied. Unless their argument is we should believe liars just because they're women. That's it. Believe liars because they are women.
She goes on to say that I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. And she goes on to talk about being sad that she lost this case.
We're in the US of A, baby.
Amber Heard's financial situation, but an 8-figure award for Johnny Depp, the likelihood that's going to be paid.
Yeah, well, even before we get to that issue, really, Victor, you get to the issue of appeal, right? Because you can throw out a number of figures as this jury did, but that will go through a whole bunch of machinations of appeals and even during the appeals, settlements, right? And when you look at that, the figure, right, it's a high figure, $10 million. It goes to whether or not she'll have the ability to pay. But in the event that she doesn't, there's all kind of attachments and things that you could ultimately do. One other issue, just very quickly, I want to go back to Lonnie's point, which
this guy, Joey Jackson, he's when I was at the DA's office, he actually did a couple of murder trials. So, you know, I've seen him in court a couple of times. He's actually a pretty good attorney.
With respect to the inconsistency of the verdict. On the one hand, the second statement, which the jury apparently credited, right, as it relates to Amber Heard saying Johnny Depp defamed me, said that this was a hoax. So how do you, on the one hand, as a jury, credit a statement saying that, you know, they lied, that is Johnny Depp and his team when they called this a hoax, but on the other hand, you credit the fact that he defamed her, meaning Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp. It seems somewhat inconsistent. I raise that because that will go for sure on the issue of appeal.
Well, this guy doesn't see, and this is why you can't have these type of legal analysts. Joey, I love you, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You just don't know what the hell you're talking about. The second statement wasn't saying the abuse and the abuse claims were a hoax, or nor was it saying the sexual assault claims were a hoax. It was about a specific day, that on the day that Amber called the cops to the house, and then the cops came and they didn't see anything. Those cops left. So then Johnny Depp's attorney said they roughed up the house and stuff to make it seem like there was abuse. And then another set of cops came and didn't see anything. So the jury said there was no evidence that they roughed up the place. So that was defamatory. They said they staged a crime scene. There was no evidence that they did. So they said, all right, so that was false and Johnny Depp should be hit with that. But that's not the same as saying the abuse claims were a hoax, because that's what the jury said. The sexual assault claims and the abuse claims were hoaxes. But just so we are clear, the claim that they staged this crime scene in May of 2000 whatever, that was defamatory. So you understand, there were multiple different things going on here. But for some reason, this is somebody who didn't watch the trial, doesn't know what they're talking about, and now goes on TV and is able to look in a good suit and say, yeah, she has a good appeal for this reason. No, you're wrong.
I can differentiate it. The second statement, which they found that Amber Heard was defamed by what was put in the Daily Mail, it's very specific. It is talking about May 21st, 2016. Johnny Depp went over to her house. There was an argument. He leaves. The police come. And there was testimony by every police officer. They didn't see bruising on Amber Heard at all. But this statement goes on to say that it's an abuse and hoax, but goes on to say that Amber Heard and her best friend trashed up the whole apartment, spilled some wine, did all this, called the police back. There was no testimony that they trashed that apartment at all. Zero in the trial. So that is false. And I think the jury may have found that to be a defamatory statement because there's no basis in fact.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do, as you see, it had nothing to do with the other claim, with the claim that she made up the sexual assault allegation. It actually had nothing to do. So let me know what you think. Do you think CNN got it right? Do you think that we should believe even the liars? Because the majority of women are telling the truth. Interesting take. If you like this channel, you like what I do, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out of here. Peace.